it.
Me too. Thank you guys so much for coming, and thanks to everyone watching it later too. My name is Emma. I'm 25. I'm from Austin, New York. I met Janelle at a summer camp that we were both working at, and I'm so excited to do this, and thank you so much for the opportunity. I am living by myself for the first time in my life here in Seattle. I live in a shotgun one-bedroom house, which means that everything is just straight through. There are no doors between rooms, but it also means that I have a lot more space than I've ever had to display all of my art and art that friends have given me. So I've been living here since July of last year, and to be fully transparent, when Janelle asked me to do this, it was the kick in the butt that I needed to finally put all of my art up. So now it's all up, pretty much everything that I own, and I'm so excited to keep adding to it and changing things around as I do that. One of my favorite things about owning art and showing it in my home is that it can always change, and sometimes like a new piece will completely change a room or the feeling of a room, or you realize that instead of having 12 things up on a wall, you actually just need these 2, so you got to find a different place for the rest of the 10. So I guess I'll just start. We're starting off in my living room, and number 1 on the list is the piece that's behind me right now, so I'm going to turn around and show that to you guys. So this piece is by my friend River Nelson. It's called Tragedy, but also Glory at the same time. Really aptly titled piece for this period of time. I adore this piece. It's one of my favorites. I'm probably going to say that multiple times about so many things that I own, but this piece I bought from River. They were going through like a particularly hard time and needed money, and I had some money, and I was like, you know what? It's time for me to get something massive. So you can kind of see how big it is, but it really feels like it takes up space in this room perfectly. And it's informed a lot of my decisions about what I put in the room that it hangs in. It's like the star of the show wherever it goes. So it used to be above my bed when I was living in a communal house, and now it lives here. Next up, we're going to move to this wall. I believe number 2 on the list is this piece that my mom made for me. It's super, can you guys see that clearly? Or is it?
Yeah.
Okay. It looks like it's through jelly on my phone. But I'll read it out loud anyways. It says, "Love has befriended me so completely. It has turned to ash and freed me of every concept and image my mind has ever known," which is a quote from Hafiz, a 14th century Persian poet. My mom made that for me for Christmas this year. I thought it was really sweet because she has been learning a lot about queerness and non-monogamy through my life, and for her to just put that in words or choose a quote like that to give to me felt really special and important. This piece, so I've got 3 pieces on this wall by my friend Sequoia. This is the first photo. That photo is also by Sequoia. And then that cyanotype is also by Sequoia. So I'll talk about the photos first. Sorry, I've got the reflection of the light in there. This is actually a photo from Western Massachusetts, Janelle, where we met. Sequoia and I met in Seattle, but we later learned that we had both spent a lot of time in Northampton, Massachusetts. So this was kind of a really special piece that they gave me. I believe it was a trade, but of a place that we share without ever having spent time in it together, which just felt really special. This is a photo of some really beautiful evening light in one of their old houses. Cute. They're partners from Amherst. Yeah, I love this light this time of day so much, and Sequoia captured it perfectly. And then I'll go to this piece, the cyanotype. Oh, Sequoia says that's from the fires 2 years ago. So the light, that orange light, is because there were fires in California, the smoke traveling up to Seattle, and it made the sky and the sun bright orange, and the sky gray. So it was a pretty freaky time, but thank you, Sequoia, for chiming in on that. This is a cyanotype that Sequoia made as part of a group project that we participated in with an art collective we used to be part of called Lion's Mane. This is a photo of a church welcome sign that was outside of a house I used to live in. And it said, "All are welcome." And throughout the years that I lived there, the pieces just came down piece by piece. So you can't see that's what it said, but I love that photo so much. And that was made with cyanotype, so it was exposed. The negative was put on oh God, Sequoia, if you can help me. It's put on a cloth that reacts to sunlight in a certain way so that the photo develops as the sun hits the cloth.
Yeah, that's perfect. It was we got clear transparencies printed of what the negative would look like, and then put it over, so the transparency is that size rather than the negative size from the film photo. And then we printed it in the sun while we were doing, and it's on cloth that already has that treatment on it, and we printed it during the collaborative building of that piece for the Seattle Art Museum.
Thank you. Yeah, so that was part of a piece called From the Foundation that we did for the Seattle Art Museum. And it was focusing on queer homemaking and home building. And we created a structure that then was adorned with all of these projects that each of us participated in, and got the community that was kind of walking through the park involved in as well. So I'm going to move on to these guys. That's Hellbomb 1 and Hellbomb 2. These are by my friend Ursula, who I now work with, but they're from before we worked together. This was the first time that I went to an art show in Seattle and saw a tattooed person as a model, and I just fell completely in love with them. I love these pieces so much. Just love the tattoos. She's got this tattoo that says Hellbomb on her chest, and these are really special to me. This is a piece by a person named Lindsay Ann Watson. I got it at a Zine Fest last year. It says, "At first it was the sun, but then it was the moon." And it's a little tile made of ceramic. Little poem piece. Does anybody have any questions about the stuff in this room? If not, I'm going to move on to the next room. Cool. I'll take that as a no. Also, this is my current easel setup. I've got some crazy flower arrangements that I'm starting to paint as they deteriorate. I have a couple of my pieces out here as well. I guess I'll do that now. So I've been painting a lot more. I did these 4 last night. These guys, these are both zines. And yeah, been doing a lot of oil painting while I've been cooped up inside. It's been really fun. I'm having a great time. And I usually do it at this easel. All right, we're gonna move on to pieces in my bedroom. This is my room. So I've got these 2 pieces, sun-kissed. I believe this one is number 4 in the series. The other one is number 3. These are paintings by, oh my God, now I'm forgetting her name. I know it. I just need to look it up. Sarah Long. Thank you, Sequoia. I don't know why that just left my brain. Sarah Long used to live in Seattle, recently moved down to California. And these pieces are of her and my friend Kelly hugging in their hallway in the building that they both lived in the beautiful evening light. I'll show you the other one before I move on to the other piece. And throughout the process of taking photos for these pieces, the 2 of them switched shirts, and I just love that image. They look so similar until you realize that either the roles have switched or the shirts have switched, and it's the shirts that switched. This piece, I'm gonna climb up on my bed to give you guys a better look at. This is Soad 15 by my friend Sofia Belenskaya. This is a pencil drawing. It is so detailed and incredible. The dappled light on the bodies just drives me crazy. It's so gorgeous. And both of these models are people in my community. I love that there's a trans body represented here. 2 trans bodies, actually. And it just, I'm sorry about that reflection, because it's like, it's so gorgeous to look at. I love this piece a lot. Hangs right above my bed. Any questions about those guys? If not, I will move on to the next room. This is, you can see how the transition from room to room happens in my little studio. This is my kitchen, where the bulk of things are. I'm probably not going to be able to get too deep into detail about everything in here, but if people have specific questions, I'm happy to answer them. Start with this one. This is a honey pie recipe that I illustrated and screen printed on napkins as part of a project that Sequoia was curating an exhibit that focused on the veil. I can let Sequoia talk about that a little bit if you want to.
It was a 2-part series that focused on people's experience, kind of documenting the in-between of life and death and what brings you into it, what brings you out of it. The second part was the harvest, so thinking about what happens in that time where everything has reached the end of its life and we're consuming it, and what is that sweetness that comes out of it that kind of goes hand in hand with death. And Emma did an incredible job of working with that prompt. And you also made honey pies for everybody at the show, which was so sweet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did. I can talk a little bit also about this recipe real quick, because this is something that's really important to me, and a recipe that's been really important to me. I found this recipe while I was in the waiting room of a doctor's office, while somebody very close to me was dealing with some eating disorder stuff. And I found it, I took a picture of it, and I made it that night. And the person in question, the person that had been dealing with all of that stuff, ate some of it with me. It was the first time that I had seen them eat something sweet in a long time. And I just have carried it with me through pretty much every important part of my life. I have made that pie and shared it with people. I've baked it for people whose homes I've stayed in. I've baked it when there's been power outages and friends have come over to shower at my house and needed something to pick them up. I've baked it when I was celebrating birthdays. And it's just become a symbolic thing for me. And yeah, I don't really know how else to talk about honey pie, because it just means so much to me. But as part of that show that Sequoia was putting on, it felt like a no-brainer that was going to be what I did. And so illustrating it was a really special, intentional act of love. And then I printed it up on those napkins, and actually this one has a little lipstick stain from someone, either Sequoia or my friend Olivia. I loved that about this specific napkin, so that's why I hung that one up. All right, moving on here. We've got a piece from my mentor and friend and professor, Randall Exxon. He made this piece in 2016 when we were in Ireland together, and he lost a bet with me, and we bet on a painting. So either I was going to have to make him a painting or he was going to make me one, and he lost the bet. So I got this painting. Again, one of my most treasured things. Love it so much. This is another piece by Sequoia, who features very heavily in my life. I love this piece so much. It was part of an exhibit that they did at Party Hat, our friend's gallery. This piece is by Craig Rogers, and so incredibly detailed. It's a pen or marker drawing. I've never been able to figure that out, but it is just so gorgeous. I love it so much. I don't know this artist very well, but they were selling this on their Instagram, and I just had to have it. All the little details are so beautiful. I love the graffiti on the stone or whatever that is. Yeah, I find something new in that piece every single time I look at it. I love it so much. Okay. Here we are. I'm going to close this door really quick so that I don't have the light interfering. Okay. I'm just going to go through everything that's here, I guess, if y'all want to hear it. This is by my friend Meg Adamson. She is a tattoo artist in Portland, Oregon. She does incredible tattoos that look just like that, believe it or not. She's so talented. And this is a tiny little guy, but I love it so much. We traded that. I gave her a tattoo and she gave me that piece. This is an artist, Sari Shrek. I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name. Not somebody that I know very well, but I found her work again on Instagram, and she had this painting for sale, and I just absolutely love mall fountains so much. For some reason, I hate them all. I absolutely detest them all, but I love the idea of a mall fountain, and especially a mall covered in plants like this. I'm like, take me to this mall. I would shop in this mall, but only this mall. This is by my friend Brandon Vasica. He titled it Romance. This was also traded for a tattoo, and his work is so joyful and playful, even when it's about depression and death. And his style is so singular. He's got such a great eye for color. I love his work so much. And most of his work is painting. So this is actually, it's a painting with like crayon pastel on it. So it's a little bit different from his other pieces. I really liked that about it. Quantum Leap up there is by a local Seattle artist who recently passed named Daryl Airy. He was a houseless person experiencing houselessness in Seattle, with one of the most incredible just bodies of work. So many people in Seattle know his work, own his work. I watched a documentary, a very short documentary on Vimeo, which I can send Janelle a link to. I absolutely recommend watching it. It also does not do him or his work justice at all. I believe in the documentary, which was made in maybe 2013, he had made like tens of thousands of pieces, and I'm sure it exceeds that. Yeah, I've got another one of his pieces right here. Last Call for Alcohol. He plays with words a lot. He's got a wild brain, and it's so special to have two of his pieces in here. This one is on loan from my friend Ian. Thank you, Ian. When Ian wants that back, I'm going to cry, but that's fine. I'm definitely going to seek out some more of his work. I'm not sure if there are people who have them that are willing to part with them, but yeah, he's amazing. Right above that is a string of roses that my friend Chi Chi made for me for my birthday. She hand strung all of those roses. I love them so much. There's another strand hanging above my mirror in my bedroom. Right above my carbon monoxide alarm is a painting I did of the palm in my room a couple weeks ago. That's an oil painting. And right below that is a gold leaf. Wondering if I can get up on a chair or something to zoom in on that. But that gold leaf is from my friend Markel Uriu's exhibit, Detritus, where she hand gilded, with the help of a couple of friends, hand gilded hundreds, if not thousands, of leaf skeletons like that, painted an entire gallery black and covered the floor with the leaves and asked people to just walk around and crush them. It was so incredibly beautiful, and I'm so honored to have helped with that. And so that's definitely one of my prized pieces. I probably should protect it, but I just love the glint of light right on the gold leaf. It's just so gorgeous. Here is another piece that I did a couple weeks ago of a lemon with some flowers in a vase. This is by my friend Briar. It's a bunch of thorns, ink on paper, I believe. It's really special to me. My professional persona is Thorn Pokes, mainly because my middle name is Rose, and I always have loved that as a middle name, but Rose felt a little bit too sweet and nice as a tattoo name, so I went with Thorn, and I love the idea of thorns, spiky things protecting beautiful things. Love that. This is Hospital Exit by my friend Ian Davis. He's so imaginative with his worlds that he creates. His pieces are just absolutely mind-blowing. He's so good at rendering, and he's one of the only people I know who can just like draw things with very little reference and make them look so realistic and like they exist in the world. I love it. This piece feels very post-apocalyptic as well, which is timely. This little sculpture is by my friend Mary Ann Carter. It's got a really long name. Something about items left in her purse after a night of too much. She took inventory of her purse and then made sculptures of all of the items. So that's a little chain sculpture. Love that one. There's the other Daryl piece. These next two are just little thrifted guys, so I won't talk too much about them. Just a little tapestry and that rose tapestry. And then this Masks Galore is from my friend Mari Nagaoka. Mari is so incredibly talented. They work with ballpoint pen on canvas to create just the most incredible textures. A lot of their work focuses on kink, leather, and shiny stuff. And this was also traded for a tattoo. I'm very grateful to be able to trade in that way. And then right under that is a piece by my friend Maggie, drawn with pencil on walnut of a mountain range that they hiked up to and saw this whole mountain range. I love that piece. It's got such a great it's got great dimensions for a room like this. It's awesome to be able to fill spots like that. It's so detailed.
Emma, I want to give you a time warning.
Yes.
We have about 2 minutes, and I think it will kick us off after that.
All right.
You're not
That's fun.
yet upgraded to pro.
This is the last piece.
Oh,
It's
wow.
also by Sarah Long. It's in my bathroom. Hangs right above my bathtub. I believe she told me that this is a piece about masturbating in the bathtub, which I love. That's great. And I got this when she was moving. I'm so happy to own something that big from her. I really need to work on filling my bathroom up with more art, because that's the only one in there. I got this other little print too. Cool. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me and, you know, being along for the ride while I did this for the first time as well. Yeah, I'd love to have more time for questions and answers, but maybe we could do that in like a little afterward forum thing. Yeah, thanks y'all. And Janelle linked to the PDF that has all the artists' names and websites or Instagrams where you can find their work, and it's got all the pieces numbered as well. So
On the website too. Thank you, Emma.
thank you.
Thank you so much. All right.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.